Hello everyone, and welcome to Night Sky Notebook for May 2021. Let's take a look at what's happening this month. Our moon phases for the month, we begin with third quarter on May 3rd. New moon will be on the 11th, first quarter on the 19th, and the full moon on May 26th. The full moon will be especially close, so we consider that to be a supermoon. It'll be much bigger and brighter. It's also going to be the time of a lunar eclipse, but it's not quite what you think. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first, let's take a look at what else is happening this month. We begin in the early morning sky between May 3rd and 5th. You're going to see the moon gliding right underneath the two largest planets, Saturn and Jupiter. Both of these worlds are absolutely beautiful and will be with us throughout the summer. And again, will be rather low in the sky, so make sure you've got a good low horizon for this. Binoculars are always great to see the moon and even to look for Earthshine, the nighttime side of the moon that is lit up by the reflected light from the Earth. This is a good way to start your day. Check them out. Also on May 5th is the Eta Aquarid meteor shower. Now Aquarius is kind of low for us, so we don't expect to see a lot of meteors from this. They say 15 to 20 at the peak if you're in the most perfect conditions, but we're not. So expect, I would say, between 5 and 10. However, if you do see some, these are actually leftover pieces of Halley's Comet. So you can see some pieces of Halley's Comet flash through the atmosphere. It's really kind of neat to see, and it's always fun to see a meteor. Don't forget to make a wish. On May 13, we're going to shift our focus over to the western part of the sky right after sunset. Here we're going to meet the inner planets, Venus and Mercury, as well as our moon. So this is going to be kind of neat. The moon and Venus will be right next to each other on May 12, but that is going to be real low and kind of difficult and challenging to catch. The moon will still be a really tiny, thin crescent, a little sliver, but it'll be right next to the planet Mercury. Mercury is a lot of the big news this month because you don't get to see Mercury very often. Only a few times for the year, and May and Mercury go together this year. It's really phenomenal. You will need a low horizon. A pair of binoculars would be great. You'll catch Moon and Mercury in the same field of view. It's going to be beautiful. That is going to be a neat thing to see. So definitely check that out on May 13 and become acquainted with the smallest planet. As you're going to see at the end of the month, it even gets a little more exciting as Venus catches up to Mercury. On May 15th, the moon is now catching up to Mars. Our crescent is a little bit larger, and you get a chance to see those two worlds together. The future of space exploration right there. That's going to be neat. Over in the west, around 9 o'clock p.m., you'll get a good view of them. Mars will be slightly brighter than Mercury, but not by much. Both of them are looking like brighter stars in the sky rather than planets right now. We watched the supermoon rise on May 26th. The supermoon happens when the full moon is larger than normal. It's a bit closer to the Earth during that phase. There are 4 supermoons in 2021 all in a row. The one this month is going to be the largest full moon for the entire year. So you really want to check this out. It's especially nice to watch it as it's rising because you have the horizon. It even makes it look bigger to your mind. Check that out. But keep in touch with the moon. You're watching it at sunset here, which is moonrise. Let's go to the early morning to see the moon set, because that's when you're going to start to see the eclipse. So now we're facing over into the western part of the sky where the moon is going to set, which will happen at 5:37 a.m. Now the eclipse isn't going to start until 4:47 a.m. Maximum eclipse is going to occur roughly around 11 o'clock our time, but we wouldn't see it anyway. It's not going to happen. We're only in the very lighter shadow area. The Earth's shadow actually has two different parts, the umbra and the penumbra. The umbra is the dark one where you get to see the blood moon. The penumbra is much lighter. As the moon goes through the penumbra, you're not really going to see much of a change. It's subtle. The part that's in the shadow, as seen in the circle, is going to be darker, but not by much. So see if you can notice a difference. I think most people looking up and not realizing the eclipse was going on probably wouldn't even think twice about it. But technically, we are having a penumbral eclipse. Is it worth getting up for? I think every astronomical event is worth getting up for. You'll have to decide that at 4:47 in the morning. And finally, the month ends with something incredible. Venus and Mercury have caught up with each other. They are now together. Mercury has been visible all month long. Absolutely gorgeous. And Venus now is right next to it. The two inner planets are only 0.4 degrees apart. Wow. That's really very, very close. It's a little less than a full moon, or about half a pinky width held out at arm's length. Now Venus is going to be much, much brighter, about 165 times brighter than our tiny little Mercury. But it'll be easy to see both of them, and you definitely want to have binoculars or a telescope to check this out. It's going to be neat to see both of them in the same field of view. And the difference in brightness should be quite interesting. That's going to be really pretty as well. So definitely don't miss this event. Around 8:30 p.m., check it out over in the west. And those are the events for May 2021. Until next time, check us out in Night Sky Notebook. Check out the blog for all the latest things happening in the sky. And keep looking up.